All right, folks, welcome to Chemistry 251. This is Organic Chemistry 1 at Cape Fear Community College. And my name is Tracy Holbrook. I'm the instructor for the course, and you're going to hear a lot of me throughout the semester. So in 10 weeks, because this is typically in the summer session, you are going to be hit with lecture on top of lecture on top of lecture in the organic chemistry world. And organic chemistry is typically, I hate organic chemistry. I hear all of these nasty horror stories with organic chemistry. Well, my job is to not allow that experience to happen. So by taking the organic chemistry with us, I hope that you have a different perspective about organic, and I hope that you can go and tell someone that you didn't have a moment because I try to make organic chemistry enjoyable, if that's even a possible thing. Now, with that said, I want you to understand that I am not a typical instructor that you might see with organic chemistry, and maybe you can already tell that by this video. So I will explain things in a very unconventional way. I will seem to come across like I have relationship problems throughout the entire semester, and I promise I do not. So this is the concept of organic chemistry that I would like for you to walk away from. I want you to think of this field as organic chemistry, the chemistry of relationships, because that is how I experience organic chemistry in my head, and that's how I want you to learn organic chemistry as well. All of this garbage about organic chemistry being memorized, that's exactly what it is. It's garbage. You do not listen to those people. Organic chemistry should never be memorized. You should learn a procedure. And once that procedure is learned, that a procedure is then applied. So learning and applying is what we need to do. We do not need to memorize anything at all. All right. So up at the top, if you have to get a hold of me, folks, here's my email address. There's my cell phone number. That's right. I give you my cell phone number. What other instructor does that? And my office number. The reason I give you a cell phone number is so that way you can text me whenever you have problems. So if you do have problems or experience some confusion and you need to get a hold of me very quickly, well, email is a way to do that. But text message, you can do that as well. Now, I can't guarantee that I will respond to a text message right off the bat. And the reason is because with a text message, it requires a cell phone. And guess what, folks? I'm somewhat unconventional as well. I don't carry a cell phone with me at all times. I have it with me, but it could be in the office. It could be in a completely different room. It could be laying in the lab. It could be in my refrigerator for all I know. I have no clue, but when I find the phone, I'll take a look and see what I've missed out on. So the cell phone is not attached to me like another appendage. So just be patient. I'll eventually get back with you. Office and hours. Office, if you are on the CFCC campus, is the Gale House building. That is kind of one of our very first buildings that we have on Cape Fear's campus. And it's been around forever. But they recently remodeled and they have placed me now in A401. A401 is the office space. It is an office suite. And within that suite, you will find at least 2 full-time instructor offices. And I am one of those. So just come by. If the door's locked, peck on the door because sometimes it's locked and sometimes it's not. That hallway door leads into an open area with other doors, and I am in one of those other doors. So that's where you'll find me. If I'm not actually in the office, sometimes I'm in my other office, and the other office is in 302, and that is our laboratory space. So if I do kind of find myself in the need to prepare some labs or spend a little bit of time in lab cleanup, you might be able to find me there. That is still office hours, and that's another space that you can find me. I will drop what I'm doing. I promise I'll drop everything that I'm doing in the lab, and I'll put focus and attention on what your questions are and how I can help you. Monday through Thursday are those dates, and that typically starts at 1 to 2:30. And the reason it starts at 1 o'clock is because we have a course that ends at 12:50. So that course that ends at 12:50 is in 302. And again, sometimes I'm in there cleaning up. So if I don't make it to the actual office space in time, you can find me in the laboratory space, and that's 302 in the Natural Science Building. Notice that's an N and not an A. So Natural Science Building, completely different building, but connected together. So please use the email, probably preferred email. If you have an immediate urgent need, then that's when the text message will come in. All right, so let's talk about meeting times. Meeting times of the course. What am I going to expect? Meeting times of the course. It is an online class, folks, and that means that everything is online, lecture and laboratory. Woohoo! I don't have to leave my pajamas in order to learn organic chemistry. I'll talk about how these mechanisms are going to work a little bit later on. When mechanism is going to be a pretty common word throughout the semester too, by the way. Therefore, all lecture and all labs will be presented online. There is no reason for you to come to the campus. If you want to come to the campus, you're more than welcome to. If you're at campus and you want to do some of these labs in person instead of online, I don't have a problem with that. You just need to let me know in advance, and then I'll push you into one of our classes that's doing lab at the moment, and you can do organic chemistry lab while we have another class going on for our chemical technology program at our college. So if you want to do that, perfectly fine with me. If that's an option, if that's something that you're interested in, let me know and we'll make arrangements. But otherwise, everything is designed to fully be implemented and delivered in an online format. So you could be in the state of California and still complete and enroll in this course and do well. Now, with that said, you need to keep in mind that this is a 10-week course, and most of these semesters are 16 weeks. What that means is that we have to condense and we have to go really fast, and that means a lot of extra work that you're going to have to do throughout the summer semester. That's part of the trade-off here. You don't spend as much time with us, but in doing so, you're going to have to work a little bit harder in order to complete the coursework that's required to get the credit and to get the grade. So we are condensing 16 weeks of material down into a 10-week course. And I need you to fully understand what you've signed yourself up to, right? That means we work at 1.6 times the pace of what someone would work at through a normal fall or spring semester. So when you start working on this class, and when you start looking at these lecture videos, and when you start looking at these laboratory assignments, please keep that in mind. I am not a workaholic, and I don't mean for you to be a workaholic. But in order to have this class represented properly in a summer semester, we do have to work a little bit faster, which means things are going to get due a little bit sooner, which means that you're going to have to work a little bit more in order to complete that work and meet those due dates. So in a normal semester, you normally will see a 3-hour lecture a week and a 3-hour lab a week. So if you multiply this by 1.6, you're actually looking about 4.8 per week instead. Now, this means you need to expect to spend at least 5 hours on listening to lecture videos every week. And you need to expect to spend at least 5 hours working on lab a week. Because, folks, let's face it, if this was an in-person class, that's what you would have to do. You would have to get into your car. You would have to drive down to the campus, and you would have to get out and go to the Natural Science Building or the U Building, wherever the class is held, and you would have to sit in a seat for 5 hours. And you would have to take notes, and you would have to listen to me babble on for 4.8 hours a week, and then you would have to come back on a second day, and then go into the lab and do the same thing all over again. So, very clear, 4.8 to 5 hours a week for lecture and a week for lab. That is how we have to schedule the course. That does not include any time that you're spending to work on homework. It doesn't include any time that you're spending to work on lab. This is physical classroom presence, but in an online format instead. So 4.8 hours a week. 5 hours set aside right now. 5 hours for lecture, 5 hours for lab. So this is a 10-hour commitment right now just watching videos in an online format, taking notes in an online format, reviewing the notes in an online format. It does not include anything else that comes along with the course, like homework and that kind of stuff, right? You would do normally that at home. That's why it's called homework and not classwork or campus work. It's homework. All right, so 4 credit hours. You get both. This is a combo, right? This is your Taco Bell combo right here. That Taco Bell combo is going to include lecture and it's going to include lab. You can't take one without the other. So, very often I get these questions from people at another university or for your college saying, well, I've already completed the coursework. I just need the lab credit. Or I've already completed the lab credit. I just need the lecture credit. No, that's not the way it works here. You get both. You got to take both. You got to complete both. You got to do work in both in order to get that grade. And that grade will then transfer over to your 4-year university or your college, and they will give you credit for lecture and lab both at the same time. We do not split it here. It's a one and all combo package. That's what you get from us. All right. If you are on campus and you wanted to swing by to introduce yourself or let me know who you are, then you're more than welcome to do that. I'm actually in charge of the chemical technology program at Cape Fear Community College. So ChemTech is a 2-year program that's designed to get you a job in 2 years working in a laboratory environment or to transfer to a 4-year school or university where you pursue a degree in chemistry for the most part. But we often see people that go chemistry or chemical engineering or some type of agricultural science. We get people that will go forensic chemistry side of the house, forensic biology side of the house, but something related to science. That's typically what our students do if they do want to transfer. If not, 2 years, they get a job, local laboratories, nationwide laboratories, it doesn't matter. They typically enter in as a entry-level chemist or laboratory technician. So the chemical technology program, I'm the program director of that program, and we own the entire 3rd floor of the natural science building at this moment. So that is our space. It's our teaching laboratories, it's our lecture rooms, it's our instrumentation rooms, it's our computer rooms. That is where you will find us. So if you make yourself to campus, go to the natural science building, go to the 3rd floor, that entire hallway is now chemical technology. And that's probably where you can find me on a good day, Monday through Thursday. All right. Textbook. Do I need the textbook for the course? And the answer is, well, maybe. Now, there's a trick here because if you purchase the textbook through the bookstore, you will get an email that will have a course code. And that course code is going to be used for Mastering Chemistry. And when you sign up for a Mastering Chemistry account, you will use that course code so you don't have to pay again, right? Otherwise, if you didn't purchase a book through the bookstore, you will have to purchase it with your own money using a debit or a credit card at the Mastering Chemistry site. The Mastering Chemistry site will include an electronic version of this textbook, and that textbook is the 8th edition of the Paula Bruce book. Now, could you make it without a text? The answer is yeah, I try to make it that way, actually. I don't want you to read out of textbooks. If I wanted you to read out of textbooks, what's the purpose of me? You paid for an education. You paid for tuition. And that means that I should be teaching you material. I should not be saying, hey, listen, go and read some stuff out of a textbook and learn it yourself. Because if you're doing that, you might as well pay yourself for the tuition because you're teaching it to yourself. And that is not the role of me. Okay? So if you don't have the textbook, that's typically okay. People will watch the lecture videos, they take notes, and they will do extremely well in the course. The problem, though, is that you've got to have Mastering Chemistry in order to have access to the online assignment database. It kind of comes together to you in another combo, maybe this time from McDonald's and not Taco Bell. But Mastering Chemistry will go through, and it will give you an e-version of the text, and it will give you an online assignment database that I have assigned to the course. And the only way to access those assignments is to log in through Mastering Chemistry. All of those assignments are based from the textbook, and my lectures are based from the textbook as well. Plus, a little bit of Tracy nuggets of information that happen along the way. Lab manual. Is there a lab manual for the course? And the answer is nope. And the reason is because we are delivering the labs in an online format, and we are doing the labs almost in a way for you, and you are our lab partners throughout this time. So there's no lab experiment, there's no lab kit, there's no lab glassware that you have to purchase. This is a totally different beast compared to a general chemistry online kit if you have taken those silly classes online before. All right? Supplemental materials. What else do I need in order to do well in the course and get an A because I need an A to transfer? Well, supplemental materials is a scanner. And the reason that you have to have a scanner is because you're going to be writing stuff on a sheet of paper or papers, and they have to be scanned and they have to be uploaded as one document. And you need some type of scanner that you can hook up in order to do that job for you. Now, a scanner can be a scanner. It can be just a typical run-of-the-mill, plug it into your computer or your laptop and scan pages and upload it as one PDF document. I'll say that again. One PDF document. I'll say that again. One PDF document. I think you get my importance there, and I'll explain that in just a second. But if you don't have a scanner and you don't want to purchase a scanner, you know, sometimes these nice fancy little cell phones, they do more than allow you to access Facebook and Twitter and TikTok, because it seems like that's all that people want to do anymore. And they also have a scanner option, and the scanner option will allow you to take your cell phone, and the scanner option will allow you to use your cell phone and scan pages and upload them and save them as a document. Who would have ever believed it? That's right. And you'll find more information of that in Blackboard. So either way, I don't really care, but quite honestly, I think it's going to be a little bit more convenient if you actually have a scanner, a real scanner. Mastering Chemistry is also a supplemental material. That's because there's other things within Mastering Chemistry that you can utilize to your advantage. I might not require you to do it, but it's there. You can use it. It'll give you tips, hints, tricks, whatever the case is. And you've got that resource if you need it. Prerequisites. Unlike some four-year schools and universities, you do need a Chemistry 152 course in order to enroll in 251. That's just the way it is. That's a state requirement. It's not a CFCC requirement. The state somewhat mandates that you have General Chemistry 1 and 2 before you sign up for Organic Chemistry 1. Course description. What's this class? What's this crazy person going to talk about all semester long? What are these topics? It's pretty standard across the board. You'll find this set up with every community college. You'll find this set up probably with every four-year university and four-year college throughout the entire United States. Theories, principles, and techniques of organic. Topics include nomenclature. Ooh, that's a fancy word. Structure, properties, reactions, and mechanisms of hydrocarbons, alkyl halides, alcohols, and ethers. Further topics include isomerization, whatever that means, stereochemistry. These molecules listen to the stereo? Well, not really. And spectroscopy. Upon completion, students should be able to demonstrate an understanding of the fundamental concepts covered in organic topics needed in Chemistry 252. So Chem 252 is going to require Chem 251, and if you're taking Chem 251 and you need a Chemistry 252, most of the time CFCC offers that Chemistry 252 course in an online format as well. Add drop dates. Well, these are going to change depending on the year. Withdraw dates, these are going to change depending on your year. Look at your current version of the syllabus or the course handout, and you will find the specific dates for you to withdraw and the last day to sign up for a class and when class is going to get over. You'll see that these dates will be really close. They might just be different with one or two dates, and that's about it. Grade distribution. How am I going to assign your grade that you need? I need a C or a better to transfer. keep that in mind, a C or better to transfer from Cape Fear to wherever your home institution is at. Or if you do plan on transferring, a C or better to wherever you're going to go. But a C is different at Cape Fear than it is at these four-year institutions and universities. And that's because a C at Cape Fear starts at 76. Folks, that's the key marker step right there. 76, that's what you're after. If you make lower than a 76 and you get a 75 or a 74, that is a D at Cape Fear. A D does not transfer with you if that's what you're after. A D does not transfer. But you're going to question it and you're going to say, well, wait a minute. If I make a 74 at my four-year school or university, I get a C. So I will transfer with a C, right? No. Boo-hoo-hoo. Cry me a river. That's not the way that it works. Your home institution or your future institution is not going to call Cape Fear and ask what numerical average you had at the end of the semester. That is not how this works. They're just simply going to state, give me a transcript. And that transcript is going to have a letter. And that letter is going to be an A, B, C, D, or F. And it does not matter what your numerical average is. It's all based on the letter grade. That's what they want. That's what they're after. So that means you got to work a little bit harder at Cape Fear to get that 76 mark or higher, to get that C that many of you are going to be after. All right. Now, if you do not plan on transferring at all, if you don't plan on transferring, then you just need a D or better. So if you are taking this course to satisfy a requirement for the chemical technology program at Cape Fear, then you just need a D or better in order to kind of move on and go to Chemistry 252. But if you do want to transfer now or in the future, you need that C or better. And that's based on letter grade, not your numerical average. Okay. Please be aware, no grades will be dropped throughout the semester. I've underlined that. That's pretty important. You miss an assignment, you miss an assignment. You miss an assignment, you get a 0. That 0 stays with you throughout the entire semester. Attendance. Attendance is not kept. That makes sense. This is online. How on earth am I going to kind of look at your attendance policy? We don't have one. So just submit your stuff by the due dates, and we are showing that you are present in the course. Just keep it up. You'll do well. Online assignments, 31%. All right, here we go. Online assignments. What on earth are those? So when you log into Blackboard through the Cape Fear website, your screen is maybe going to look something like this, and you're going to click the course, and of course this is Chemistry 251. You're going to click the course, and this will open up the major area where all of your classwork and your lab work is going to be found. So if I'm talking about these kind of online assignments, what am I referring to? Well, under the coursework lecture, when you click that folder, you will see subfolders that begin to appear. And then when you click that subfolder, and in this case, that subfolder represents Lecture 1, General Chemistry Review, you click that link and another drop down basically happens. You'll see a couple of things here. First is just a general review of what we're going to be talking about, mainly a document. And then Lecture 1 is going to have a link to a playlist of lecture videos that you will watch and take notes just like you would do in a typical classroom setting. And then there's a link that says Mastering Chemistry, online Lecture 1 assignment. So if you click that, that link will direct you to the Mastering Chemistry website. And if you purchased your textbook through the bookstore, you probably will have an access code that you will use to create your student account here. And this access code is going to create your Mastering Chemistry account so you do not have to pay for it again. You've kind of already paid for it by going through the bookstore. If you did not purchase anything through the bookstore at all, then there's a chance that you need to pay for this yourself, and you need to use your debit card or your credit card and just pay straight up Mastering Chemistry for this service. Once you do that, you're going to sign in, and it's going to ask you for a course ID code. And that course ID code I am going to give to you, right? So that course ID code is going to be specific to the class that you're enrolled in, and it's only going to be for those assignments for that particular course. And I'm going to go in and, this class is going to show up on myself, and this is kind of what these online assignments are all about. Again, your screens are going to look a little differently, but here are going to be your assignments. And you'll see, oh, look, lecture 1, it's due in 6 days. And if I click on lecture 1, then this assignment is going to open up, and it's going to give me some problems here. All right, so I can take my time and I can work on these as I watch the lecture videos. I can watch a group of lecture videos and then take some notes and just review it and go in and open this and see what I can answer and what I can't. It's probably a good idea to open these, maybe not in the very beginning, but after you get into the lecture material, a little bit further into the lecture material, about halfway through, I would maybe open the assignment up, take a look at some of these questions, and see what you can answer. So if I click on the assignment problem, I'll see this screen in Mastering Chemistry. Again, your screen will look a little different. And it looks like there's a question here. Atoms with the same number of protons but different number of neutrons are called blank. And they'll give me a box, and I'll type in the word isotopes because that's the correct answer here. And then I hit enter or save, and then I move on to the next question. So I can open these up, I can skip around. It looks like up here in the top, this is going to have about 50 questions for me. Some of them are short answers, some of them are multiple choice, some of them are click the boxes and drag it to the right spot. I mean, it just really depends on the types of questions that are there, but 50 questions might not take you long, 50 questions might take you forever. I just don't know that until you get into the lectures, until you see the course content and the material, because that will change depending on what we are discussing. All right. So this is what the online lecture assignments are focused on. And there's a little bit of time that's going to be designated for this lecture material and learning the lecture material. And for that reason, the online assignments are going to be 31% of your grade. So these are strictly Mastering Chemistry online assignments. Okay. Next up are laboratories. Laboratories are 34% of the grade. And with the laboratories at 34%, this makes kind of sense. I mean, you're spending almost the same amount of time in lecture as you are in lab. And those lectures or those labs are going to require a little bit of time. And they're going to require some assignments and some worksheets. And you're going to have to turn them in. So they should be an appropriate percentage amount. And 1/3 of the class, I feel like I'm actually shortchanging you at that moment. But the lecture material is significantly significantly more difficult than the laboratory portions are. So because of that, I want you to take away lecture content for sure. Lectures, yeah, they're going to require some time, going to require some study. Labs, not so much. You watch the video, you take notes, you take observations. It might take a little bit in order to finish the assignment, but you don't necessarily have to think too much about them. And because of that, they are weighed a little bit less at 34%. All right. Now, with the laboratories, not all of them, but some of them are going to require some pre-laboratory assignments. So if I go back to the Blackboard section of the course, and I go down to where it says coursework or laboratory work, I see that folder there. I'll click it. And then if I scroll down, I'll see Laboratory 1, Investigating Melting Points. Please, that's pretty simple. Melting points of compounds, we did that back in elementary school. I got this. Well, maybe, and that's going to be an easy grade. That's why this percentage is a little bit lower for your cumulative average. But there could be times where you will see a pre-lab assignment located in this folder. And those pre-lab assignments are classified as online assignments as well. right? So just keep that in mind. These are online assignments that you're going to have to kind of work toward and complete, but that is where they will fall. So those online assignments, if they are located, not every folder, not every lab folder will have them. If they don't show up, they don't show up. You don't have to ask about them. They're not there. It's just watch the video, take notes, fill out the lab sheet, and turn it in. But some of these will have them, and if they have them, you'll see them listed. So that is classified as an online assignment as well. All right, so there's the story with the laboratories. How do the laboratories go? I'm going to record myself doing the labs. You're going to see video of me doing the labs. You're going to see images of me doing the labs. That way you can write down observations. You can write down numbers. You can write down what you're seeing as far as the lab goes. You're my lab partner, in other words. It's almost like if you did this in a group and the lab partners, well, there's typically one person that does the work and you got the others that are the leeches. And you are the leeches to the laboratory assignments here. So you basically watch what happens, you answer the questions, you fill out the data sheets, you turn them in, and I am the person of the group that does the work while everyone else around me watches me do the work. That is how the laboratories are going to be designed. All right. Test. Notice it says a laboratory pre-lecture will be provided before each scheduled laboratory. This is kind of a blend. Sometimes the lecture component of the lab is a separate video, and sometimes it's actually the same. It just really depends on how complicated the lab is, to tell you the truth. So the longer labs will require a separate video. The shorter labs will require the same video. So whatever, again, you see in the lab folders, that's what I want you to do. So just keep in mind a little bit of flexibility, and things are fluid in the course, and that's okay. Nothing has to be kind of set and etched and chiseled in stone in order for this class to work. Next are the tests. The tests are 23%. The answer that or the question that I get is, do I have to be on campus to take the test? No, we cannot require you to be on campus to take the test. It's an online course, and if you're in an online course, we cannot require you to be present at any time on campus. So for the test, typically what happens here is that you will get a link, and that link will allow you to sign up for an appointment time. That is how these tests are going to work. So this appointment time is going to give you a date and some time options for you to select. Once everyone responds to the survey, then I will look at which areas actually have the most overlap. And those are the dates and times that we will set aside for test 1 or test 2 or test 3 and so forth. Once we determine 2 or 3 times that work for the entire group, then you will be given a scheduled appointment time for you to be ready. And on that scheduled date and that scheduled appointment time, tests will work one of two ways. You'll either be given a link to access, or you'll be given a PDF document that you will download and print, answer the questions on the document, scan them, and upload them. But keep in mind, all of this is timed. That is why we give you an appointment time. These tests are typically 3 hours in total. You've got 3 hours to work on the test. You've got 3 hours to answer the questions. Everything has to be scanned within 3 hours. Everything has to be uploaded within that 3 hour, and everything has to be submitted within that 3 hour time frame. If I do not receive the test within the 3 hour time frame, I will record a 0 for the test. Even if it comes in 5 minutes later, I will record a 0 for the test. That is what this is. That's what this is all about. So it is a test. Study appropriately. Take notes. Get ready for the material. You got 3 hours that you can't Google information, because these questions, you can't Google them. Sorry. You might be able to Google some, but not all. And these tests will make it very clear who understands the material and who does not. So scan them, upload them, submit them before the 3 hours. The other thing that I want to say about the test in particular, and even the labs, we are after one PDF document. And there's going to be a link in the course laboratory folders, or lecture folders, sorry, on something called PDF merger. So if you have a scanner that does not combine PDFs for you into one document that you can upload, but it scans it individual pages and you don't have that setting to do more than one page, then there is a online free service that takes individual PDF pages and combines them into one. I need one PDF for a test and I need one PDF for a lab report. Do not, and I repeat, do not scan multiple PDFs here and upload them into the system. It makes it horrible to grade. It makes it horrible on your end. It makes it horrible on my end, and nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody ain't got time for that. So, for that reason, one PDF. All right, next up. Learning modules. It's just really what we're going to cover. If you look at the lineup, typical kind of lecture material that's introduced in any Orgo 1 course, it's all about the basics, the general introduction and nomenclature, instruction, reactions of organic chemistry. Laboratory assignments. 16-week classes typically have on average, I would say 14 to 12 laboratories, because some of the laboratories take a little bit longer. They'll take more than one day. So that many number of labs should be represented, and it's close to it. And you're going to see that these labs correspond to the lecture material that we do quite well. So in the beginning, it's a little bit of just general basics, kind of general chemistry stuff, actually. So nothing organic too much about these intro laboratory experiments at all. And then sooner or later, we'll go into more organic laboratory-related laboratory assignments. And that happens really kind of the third one in. On this particular syllabus, it's June the 6th, but typically about the first week of June, we'll hit this pH of a food preservative. And that's a little bit more organic in nature compared to recrystallization and compared to melting points of organic compounds. And that trend sets, at that moment, the staple or the template from that point on for the rest of the semester in the laboratory section of the course. All right. Okay, so now that you kind of understand a little bit more about the course, you're looking at these maybe lecture topics, you're looking at these lab topics, maybe you're feeling, I hope, a little bit more comfortable after you're listening to me to explain how the class is going to work. You'll see on the back end of the syllabus some community or Cape Fear Community College course specifics. And these are mainly for courses that we teach or that I teach that might be in person instead of in an online format, right? I don't have to worry about your safety. You're not here on campus. I don't really have to worry about you wearing goggles unless you really want to. I kind of like that idea. If you put on your goggles and a little lab coat while you watch the laboratory related videos for the course, I would love that. And maybe you want to send a picture of yourself wearing your lab coat and goggles, and I'll share it with everybody in the course if that's what you want to do. I think that would be a great kind of icebreaker. So if you wanted to do it and let me share them, right? But that kind of stuff, not necessarily needed, but it's things that you'll find in the syllabus just in case. All right. Field trips, of course, we're not going to go anywhere, but it's something that we include in the syllabus just in case. All right. So with that said, I think I've introduced you to Organic Chemistry 1. I've introduced you to myself, and I've introduced you to a little bit about Blackboard and where to find things. Enrollment verification is very important. If you do not complete the enrollment verification by that date, folks, you get kicked out. That's like not ever showing up to class the first week of class. So when you do that, we report you as a no-show and you get dropped. So that enrollment verification you have to complete, and that enrollment verification will focus on the syllabus information. It's not graded. Honestly, I don't care how you answer the questions. I just need you to go through the motions. So click the link, answer the questions that show up, hit submit, and your enrollment verification is finished. It does not affect your grade at all. Getting started is where you'll find some of these Cape Fear course links, Cape Fear college specific links, how to get help, how to get question answered, and so forth. You'll also find my contact information here. You'll find the course syllabus that's there, and you'll find the course schedule that is there. Student resource and help, we'll talk about accessibilities, if you need some kind of special accommodations on the campus. It will talk about IT help support, the help desk. That's what you'll find in this section and category. You'll also find links to the PDF merger, and you'll find links to how to use your phone as a scanner here as well. Student registration handout for Mastering Chemistry. You click on that link. That link will show up, and it will give you the course ID code that you need to type in for your particular class that semester. Do not use the one that you see on the screen. It might be the one that you need. It might not be. But you will find that in your Blackboard site when you register for that. Coursework is where you'll find all the lecture-related information. That lecture information also includes online quizzes. And those online quizzes, folks, that's a separate category there. So double check your syllabus. Make sure those are represented. And then finally, you'll see the laboratory coursework as well. Each one representing a different folder. Over here to the left-hand side, you'll also find some important links. And some of those important links would, of course, be your grades. So you'll find a grade book up here on my side. It could be different than yours, but that will give you a total cumulative average throughout the entire semester. Anything as far as collaborate sessions, I don't expect that we'll use these, but collaborate sessions will be here to the left-hand side. You can join sessions, and these are live, maybe office hours or live test hours. If we use those at any point in time, that's where you'll find the collaborate links. Announcements. There's a link for announcements. Anything that I want to send over to the course and for everyone to receive at one time typically gets sent as an email, but you will see a reference to those emails in the announcement section of the course. So that way you can easily find anything that's important that's related to the 251 course. All right. So with that said, good luck. I hope that you enjoy your time with the class. I hope that you enjoy your time making fun of me, because I know that you will, and that's part of it. I don't mind it. And I hope that this is somewhat entertaining, but at the same time for you to learn things, and that's what this is all about. All right, so with that said, if you at any point in time need to reach out, feel free to do so. I know this is an online learning environment. We don't get to see each other really, but with that said, feel free to reach out at any time for any questions that you might have. That is the role that I play, right? I mean, I am here for a reason, not just to make a fool of myself and not just to record videos of myself talking nonsense, but to actually help you learn material. Believe it or not, that's what we're here for. If you have an instructor and that's not what they're there for, they don't need to be an instructor. So I don't mind answering questions, and you might get a fooling and you might get a response at 2:30 in the morning. You just never know about me. So feel free to send them my way. Let me know, and I'll help you as much as I can. All right, so thank you for signing up for the course. By the way, shameless plug. If you are interested at any moment in time joining the Chemical Technology program at Cape Fear Community College, feel free to do so. We would love to have you. And you're already in organic chemistry and you've already completed general chemistry. You already have coursework that's designed and dedicated to the program. So you kind of already enrolled in it. You just didn't know.